Hello, can you hear me? Are you muted?
Yeah, close.
Good morning, everyone. Can you see me and hear me okay? Just let me know. At the moment, you should all be muted. If you want to speak, just unmute yourself by tapping on your image. Can you just like to clear some feedback just to see that you hear me okay?
Can hear you.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. For the sake of the class, so you know, as I said, if you could all please mute your microphone, because otherwise we get some feedback, and it's not nice to then to hear it again on the video. But if you want to have a question, obviously you will be cooking together. So if you're not sure about something, or if you have a question, just unmute yourself and ask, and I will try to answer all the questions as I go along. Today, first of all, welcome to another class of the Italian vegan. Today we are concentrated on mushrooms, and the first thing I wanted to say, first of all, is that the things I ask you to get are all like shop bought mushrooms. You know, I like going and pick my own mushrooms. I'm not sure that some of you would enjoy doing the same thing, but unfortunately there are so many different varieties of mushrooms that I couldn't tell you if the ones that, you know, if you've gone out and pick your own, I couldn't advise to say if they're good to eat or not. So if you are pick your own, just make sure they are okay to eat. Whether you are, you know, there are many reference books that you can use and to check, but it is quite a lengthy process if you don't know a fungus or a mushroom, to identify precisely, to check if it's edible or not. Okay, so we're doing three things today. We'll be doing Carpaccio di Funghi, which is mushroom carpaccio, which is like a kind of a very fresh kind of salad type dish, done with slicing the mushroom very, very thinly. Then we'll be cooking mushroom risotto, which is one of the Italian classics. It's really lovely dish, very rich, very creamy, and it's really nice. It can be eaten with or without cheese. So obviously this is a vegan class, so we'll be using vegan butter and vegan cheese. But if you're not vegan, this dish can be eaten. I've eaten it many times, prepared without any cheese at all. So in that case, it's the same for vegan and non-vegans. After that, we'll be doing the third dish, is like funghi trifolati with brandy. Okay, so and would be like a pan fried mushrooms. With a lovely brandy kick with garlic and parsley. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, I'll just talk you through the ingredients that we'll be using today. As you can see, I've got like the mushrooms are all like they're all been. I haven't done anything to them. I just cleaned them really. So what you do with the mushrooms, you don't wash them. You just brush them with a piece of damp kitchen towel, something like this, and make sure that you remove all the earth from it. So I've got the three punnets of mushrooms, one for each dish. They might be a little bit too much for the salad, but we can use the excess for the risotto. Then again, for the salad, I've got both wild rocket and I've got baby leaf spinach. For the risotto, and then still for the salad we've got lemon, which we'll squeeze in a moment. For the risotto, apart from one of these, I also got these dried porcini mushrooms. Let's see if you can see this. Hopefully you managed to get some. I mean, you can do it without if you haven't managed to get some, but this gives it a really nice rich flavor. And it's the first thing we're going to do. We need to revive these dried mushrooms. Okay, so apart from this, we'll be using I'll be using vegan butter. Again, this is the brand I'm using, but whatever you can find, I'm sure that there are many different varieties. And I'll be using also some vegan parmesan. Again, it's the same brand. I find it quite good. Probably one of the best found for vegan cheese. And also I'll be using some stock, vegetable stock, olive oil, salt and pepper, and then also some fresh parsley, and obviously the unmissable garlic. Okay, so let's start cooking then. The first thing I would like you to do is to boil a kettle of water. So we need some boiling water for the mushrooms. So while that is boiling, I'll open the dried porcini mushrooms. And I place them in a pan. We're just going to put some boiling water in there. So as long as the mushrooms fit and there's enough room for the water, it needs to be at least half a liter. Better. We need about a liter of stock to cook the rice. So you might as well use a pan that holds about a liter of stock. And sorry, the other ingredient we need is I forgot to show you this, the risotto rice. I normally use riso carnaroli. I bought this last time to show you the difference in two varieties. So I'll be using this time. I'm using arborio, which is a very, very similar variety. The arborio is slightly creamier. Carnaroli stays a little bit drier, a little bit more al dente. So I'll be using this one, and while the water is boiling, I'll measure out 300 grams. These are the quantities for 2 people. Okay, so I'll be using about 150 grams per person, which is possibly a nice amount for being a full meal, let's put it that way. And then measure out 300 grams for rice. This is my 300 grams of rice. So it doesn't look like a lot, but once it's cooked, you will see that it's going to flare. It's going to absorb a lot of the and the other juices that we're using. Okay. So while the water is boiling, we can start. Again, use small ones. We can start preparing the mushrooms for the salad. Okay, so we want to slice the mushrooms quite thin, as thin as you can do. If you have a mandolin, that would be ideal because it makes slicing very easy. You can see I'm trying to keep the shape and just slicing them very, very thin. Otherwise, some bigger bits I'll be using for the risotto. Sorry, my kettle just boiled, so what I'll do, I'll just put some boiling water in the dried mushrooms, and we'll leave these to soak for about 20 minutes or so. Okay, we can put them there and forget about them. We don't need to You don't need the heat or anything. You just dip on the two. And make sure that they're all nice and wet. And in 20 minutes or so, they will have absorbed a lot of this water. Okay, so we carry on with our chopping. Mushrooms are not often eaten raw, but this is one of the dishes where we can do that. I mean, especially with these button mushrooms, they're very nice in salad as well. And what we'll be doing today is a little variation on the summer salad. It's often, I mean, Carpaccio is it's a dish that's often served in restaurants with meat and fish, with an uncooked meat or fish. But today, obviously, we're doing it. This is the vegan class, and we'll be preparing it with mushrooms, which is much nicer. So I'll be doing a couple more mushrooms. I won't use them all because they're quite a lot for a salad. Okay, I think this will do. And I finish slicing this one up. Okay, I'll keep these for the risotto. Okay, now I'll put them in a bowl. And now we need to squeeze the juice of a lemon. What we'll be adding the lemon juice to the mushroom that we just sliced. If we don't do that, if we don't use lemon, then the mushrooms will quickly go black. So we don't want to do that. So make sure you make some room. Just add lemon juice. And I make sure that all the mushrooms are in contact with the juice. So to stop them changing color. Okay, you can leave them there now for a few minutes. Okay, leave the mushrooms there for a few minutes. In the meantime, what we can start doing, we will need some stock for the mushrooms. So I'm going to be using the water from these, but I'll need a little bit more. So I'll add I'll add a couple of stock cubes. And a little bit more water, and I start warming the water up so that the stock cubes dissolve and it's nice and warm and boiling by the time that we need it for the risotto. Okay, so I have about half a liter there of water, so I'll add another, not too much here, another half a liter. Maybe you want a little bit more, because we just to make sure that we're not left without stock at the end of the cooking time. So I'll have about 700 milliliters of water, plus 500, so I'm gonna have plenty there for the risotto. Okay, so I'll start turning that on. Okay. So this is step one. Step two now, we prepare the bed for these lovely mushrooms. So what we'll be doing, I'll take a serving dish. Now, this is a little bit of a trick. I ask you to get both rocket and spinach, simply because rocket is a very distinctive flavor, very peppery, and I know that a lot of people don't like it, whereas spinach is a lot milder, a lot softer to the palate. So you are welcome to use either or both in combination. So what we'd like you to do is to prepare this.
There's a question from Maria. Is the heat for the mushrooms in medium heat?
The mushrooms are not on the hob. There's no heat on the mushrooms, and we just soak them in boiling water. So at the moment there's nothing happening. There you are. Have a look. There's no the hob is off. Okay. So the mushrooms are not on. We don't want to cook them yet. We just want to basically bring them back because they were dried. We want them to absorb some of the water. Okay, so I just burn the water for the stock because I want the stock cubes to dissolve, and I want this water to be hot by the time I start cooking the risotto. Okay, so what we'll be doing here. So you can do this with either. We're having a nice bed of. Sorry, what is this? No, just click on it. Okay. Okay. So we'll be having a nice bed of rocket. You can just use this if you want. What I would like you to do though is to have both on the plate. So I have rocket on one side and spinach on the other, and then we're going to have the mushrooms on top, and we're going to do our finishing touches. But if you can taste both and then see which one you prefer, and then next time you prepare it, do it with your favorite, with your favorite either one or the other. A little bit more. Okay, so that's ready. Okay. Now the mushrooms will be ready. You want to make sure that if there is any lemon juice left that hasn't been absorbed, you can discard it because you might not want to add it too lemony. But in this case, the lemon has been all absorbed by the mushrooms, so there's nothing there. No lemon left, so we'll be ready. Ready to place the mushrooms on the salad. You might want to, first of all, add a little bit of salt and pepper. I'll add them both on the salad and in the mushrooms. This is completely to taste, so you don't need to, watch me exactly, because it depends how much you like. I don't like salt, so feel free to put your own quantity. I put like an abundant pinch of salt on mushrooms, I'll do some more in a minute. And I add olive oil, again, both here on the salad, on the mushrooms, and a little bit more at the end. And also I add some pepper. I will add on the mushrooms. Oh, might make me sneeze. So I am ready now to place the mushrooms on the salad. Like this. And voila, all the mushrooms are on. Now it's up to you. You can, if you're having a party, you can present that really nicely, putting all the mushrooms in order. As you know, I am more concerned about taste than I am about presentation. So I'm not worrying about this too much. Okay. I just need you now to get this slicer. I need to look into this drawer. Let's go. Okay, and what we'll be doing now, I'll get my vegan parmesan. Sorry, drop something. I get the vegan parmesan and I will slice some over the top. I mean, if you're not vegan and you're using real parmesan, then that you can use that one if you want. This way you want to do the kind of effect that you want to have. So you want to really to have some scales of cheese, and so very thin. You don't want big chunks. Oops, that's not good. So again, this is completely to taste. So add as much or as little as you like. I quite like the cheese on. I think it gives a nice finish. Voila, and that is pretty much enough. Okay, so having done that, and now finish dressing it up, I'll add a little bit more salt again to taste. I know how I like it. A little bit more pepper. And a drizzle of olive oil. And your salad is ready. So now, if you have guests, you can cover this and put it back in the fridge, ready for when you are ready to serve. Otherwise, if you're eating alone yourself, you feel free to have a taste. So I have dropped something. So away. Wash my hands. Okay, so the first dish is ready to eat, and now we will be concentrating on the risotto. But before we do that, we'll carry on with the chopping, because obviously we'll need these for both the risotto and for the other dish that we're doing later. So what we'll do, we'll chop all the mushrooms now. Okay, so they're ready for both dishes. So also, as this is for the risotto, so the mushroom don't need to be sliced as thinly. Can be quite thick. It's fine. As you can see, they don't need to be too thin. We also need a couple of cloves of garlic for this dish. And oh, I forgot to mention it earlier on. I also need half an onion. So, while we're doing this, if you haven't got it out already, go and get one from the fridge or wherever you keep them. This I kept it simple again because I'm trying to. All the recipes that I'm showing you, I'm trying to make it as simple as I can, like things that we do every day. But this particular dish is even nicer if you can get hold of wild mushrooms. And the more varieties you can get, the better it is. It adds, apart from a lot of subtlety and flavor to the dish, it's also visually very nice to see different shapes and different colors. Okay. It's pretty big, so I'll actually cut it in half. Okay, these are the ones for the risotto. Okay, so almost done now. I'm trying to show you that I'm keeping myself from doing any preparation before we get onto the class because I want to show you how it is when you cook it at home and every single step that you need to take. The only thing I've done really is just taking these mushrooms out of the packet and just giving it a brush with some damp kitchen paper. I haven't, apart from that, I haven't done any preparation whatsoever. Okay, so these are done. I'll keep a few for the other dish, so this we share quantity. And these are the other mushroom for the second dish. Again, they don't need to be sliced too thinly. The only other things that we need to prepare for this dish is also need to clean some garlic, and for the risotto we'll get the onion going in a second. Okay, I'll get the other dish. This is full. Okay, the last few. Okay, this is a big mushroom, so I cut it in half. I always like cutting the mushroom, by the way. You know, sometimes you get the really small, close cut mushrooms. I don't like cooking them whole. I prefer to slice them because sometimes otherwise you don't get the whole flavor out. By the way, any questions?
How many mushrooms from Steve?
Hi, Steve. The question was how many mushrooms I'm using. I'm using about 3 punnets of mushrooms. On each punnet, I think there were 300 grams. But pretty much, I've used a little bit less than a whole punnet for the salad. So I'm a little bit more for the other 2 dishes. But in total, I started with 3 punnets of mushrooms. Sometimes different supermarkets or different packs. In total, I had 900 grams of mushrooms. Okay, so the mushrooms are all prepped now. Okay, so these are the ones for a mushroom dish. Okay, we can get the risotto started now. This is my trusted pan that I use for pretty much everything, especially combining pasta with the pasta sauce, and I'll be cooking the risotto in here as well. Depending on how much you are cooking, you might need a bigger pan. I mean, this is fine for 300 grams of risotto, maybe even a little bit more. But if you're cooking for a big family, 5 or 6 people, then you will need a bigger pan, much higher, because you know, if you can imagine the rice plus all the mushrooms plus all the stock that we're adding, and will be quite hard. Okay, so these are the mushrooms that we put to soak in just in hot water earlier on. Okay, as you can see now, they are softer, so they have absorbed a lot of the water. You can see, look at the color of the water. It's this lovely, and this is lovely. I hope that you managed to get some of these mushrooms, because it's such a nice rich smell. What I'll be doing, I'll be filtering the mushrooms. I'll put the water we'll be using with the stock. Okay, and the mushroom I am going to chop a little bit, and it will be using for the risotto. I'll make sure I drain the mushrooms. And also, this is now look at the richness of this stock. I'll make sure I mix it all, because we have the stock cubes in there as well that by now are dissolved. And we keep that on a very low heat, because we want to make sure they keep hot. Otherwise, what we do is that the way that we cook risotto is that by adding stock all the time, and if the stock is cold, then it stops the cooking process, and it takes a lot longer. So what we're doing now, we'll be chopping these mushrooms here. Okay, especially when there are some bigger pieces like this. Small ones don't really matter, but these bigger ones we want to cut. Don't have to be too small. So we just put them out on your cutting board and go and hack away at the big ones.
How soft this is from Christine. How soft have the mushrooms got to be?
They will feel a bit squidgy now. Yeah, the question was how soft do the mushrooms need to be? Obviously, if they feel like dry, they haven't been in there long enough. They should feel quite soft now. So they have regained. You see this? I mean, when it was dry, this wouldn't do that. Okay, now it's soft, so I can it's pliable. You can feel it's a bit squidgy under my feet, under my hands. I left them in there when we started the class. I don't know how long have we gone so far.
35 minutes.
Yeah, about half an hour, I would say, 25 minutes, half an hour. That's normally enough. Because then what we, this is not the complete cooking. We put these, we could put these together with the rice. So they'll be cooking for another 15 minutes. I just want to make sure that we don't have any massive bits of mushroom then when we eat in a risotto. But we do want to keep it in a way you want to show these off, okay? Because they are really nice when you present the dish. You just don't want to be too chunky when you eat them. But I'll be leaving them. Say these I'll be leaving. I'm not chopping off. Not chopping it into really tiny bits. Okay, so I think we're ready to go there. And we'll be ready to serve the risotto. Did you get the onion? Oh, fantastic. So I'll put this mushroom aside to be used later.
Is the mushroom water added to stock?
Yes, the question was, is the mushroom water added to the stock? Yes, I added the water that I used for the to revive these mushrooms. I added it to the stock, so you can see now that you can see the color of the stock is almost black. You see it's very dark because of the water from the mushrooms. Okay. So where is my onion? Okay. We have as you can see, a fresh onion, and I will be using about half of it. Clearing that. Okay. Trying to keep tidy as I go along, because tidiness is not my main virtue. Okay. So what I'm doing, I kept the root part of the onion. So what I can do now, I can cut it like this, but the back part is still attached to the roots. So I can then, you see, I can still grab it and it's all in one piece. And now when I go and cut it, it's a much smaller piece.
Steve,
What's the question?
okay, don't worry. No.
No, everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So chop this, as finely as you can, without being too much trouble. I like my onion to be tasted rather than seen, but it doesn't really matter if it's a bit or a little bit bigger. As you know, this is kind of like a homely class. These are the things that we eat at home, so we're not too fussy. The main thing is how we taste it when we eat it. Okay. So what we have here, I'm using vegan butter. I showed you before. This is the one that I found. It's really nice. I like it. So I'll be using about 80 grams. I've weighted this as 85 grams. So we're using this rather than olive oil at the moment. Okay. So I'm using about half of it at the moment. I just cut it in half.
How many grams is it?
Sorry?
How many grams is it?
This is 80 grams. 85 actually, to be precise. So I will be starting with this on the hob. I have my ladle ready for when I need this stock. So we melt the butter. This is for those of you that haven't cooked risotto before. Italian rice risotto is very different from other types of rice, like the rice that we use in Asia, or the American non-grain rice, or even the rice for paella. It's I don't know if you can, maybe I don't know if it comes out on my phone, but as you can see, the grains are very small and fat, like most Italians. Okay, so and they are the way that we cook risotto is also different from other types of rice. So what we'll be doing will be gently cooking it in the pan and slowly adding stock to it, so that then the rice absorbs it, and we keep turning it with a spoon all the time, so that it absorbs the oil flavor. And as we turn it, it releases starch, so it kind of gives that classic appearance of being very very creamy, which it is. And it's a lovely way of cooking rice, because it really absorbs the all flavors of the thing that you are cooking with it. Okay, so we use our onion and we start gently. What we call it in Italy, this method is soffriggere, which means like we gently fry it. So it's not on a high heat. So the very gently frying. We leave it there for a couple of minutes. In the meantime, we'll get the garlic. We will need a little bit of garlic for this, but especially for the next dish. So I'll prepare a few cloves of garlic. We won't need as much as, if you know me, if you've seen any of my previous classes, I use quite a lot of garlic in the cooking. We won't need as much today, or at least not for the risotto. Need a bit more for the next dish. For the risotto, we only need a couple of cloves of garlic, which I will keep in one piece. I'll just cool them slightly so the flavor comes out when they're in the pan. I just toss them in the pan. And now the onion is cooking, is almost ready. I'll just let the cooking fat take the flavor from the garlic for literally about 30 seconds, 1 minute, and then we'll be adding the rice. Oh, sorry, what I'm talking about, sorry, we're not adding rice yet. We'll be adding now the mushrooms. So we're ready now for the mushrooms. And we'll be, let's put them in. Now I want to actually turn the heat up a little bit. Okay. The mushrooms will soon start losing the water. Obviously, they are very, very water rich.
Is the Steve again? Is the garlic in?
Yes, I put the garlic in one piece. The question was, is the garlic in? Yes, I put 2 cloves of garlic that I've gone in.
And from Rosalind, is garlic in with the onion?
Yes, it is. Yes, Rosalind. The question was, is garlic in with the onion? I think I can hear you when you ask the question, so it should be okay. But yes, the garlic is in with the onion. Okay. I would just want to add a little bit of just a pinch of salt, not too much because it's the stock is already salty. And this is at this stage, you got to decide if you want to. At the end, I'll be adding some cheese to this dish. Now, if you want to eat it without cheese and you prefer it, you could add a pinch of chili. But don't do the 2 things together. Okay, so you either add cheese at the end, or you add chili now. The 2, chili and the parmesan, don't really go well hand in hand. So we'll leave this to cook for a few minutes. Just a low heat slightly. I think I don't think we put the microphone, so just add this to the microphone so we can probably hear me a little bit better. I'll be back in a second. Just adding my trusted microphone, so let's see if you can hear a little bit better with this. Where is it? Okay, there it is. Does it make any difference? You can hear, hopefully you can hear a little bit better. If you can't, well, tell me, I will take it off. Okay. You can see already that the mushrooms look a lot more wet because they are, as I said, the water is actually being it's evaporating, it's coming out of the mushrooms. So you can see that actually the volume is going down as well. You can also give it a taste, see if you like, if you wanted to add much more salt or not. It doesn't, I would say, the important thing is that you've got a little bit of salt in it, but not too much. You don't want it to be, let's say, ready to eat, because there's more salt in there. Okay. The other thing that we might want to do now is to taste the stock, because this is going to be the level of flavor that we're putting in a risotto.
From Rosalind, are the porcinis in with the mushrooms?
Not yet. You can see there on the dish, they're on the side. So you just want to taste your stock to make sure that it's got a nice level of salt. At this stage, it's easy to adjust, because if there isn't enough salt, you can add some more, or if it's too salty, you can add some water to it. I'm happy with the level of salt in the stock, so I'm not adding anything to it. Okay, you can see the mushrooms now. You can see now all the liquid that's in the pan. This is all from the mushrooms. There was nothing at all when 1 minute after I put the mushrooms in, there was no butter left. So all this liquid that you see is all the water that's coming out of, from cooking the mushrooms. As you can see the garlic in there. I kept in one piece. I haven't cut it up, so just a couple of cloves of garlic. Okay. Just just leave that for another minute. In the meantime, let's clean another, say, three nice sized cloves of garlic for the next dish. Okay. And again, I'll be keeping these in one piece. So just make sure that the skin is off. Okay, the skin is off. So what I'll be doing, I just cut the garlic a little bit, some little cuts without chopping it. Just to make sure that when I start cooking, then the flavor of the garlic, transfers into the dish. So if we stay in one piece, so we just like a few cuts here and there. Okay. Okay. So you can see the mushrooms are really nice now. They're smelling really good. Okay. So what are we doing now? We'll be adding the rice, just dry, okay? And mix it in for a couple of minutes. And in a second, I will add the other mushrooms as well. So this is basically what we're doing now. We are toasting the rice, so that it doesn't get, it doesn't get too soft when we start adding the stock. And we do this generally with whenever we cook risotto, we do it for a minute or two. So I add the porcini mushrooms to it now. Look at that color, isn't it fantastic? Now imagine there are only like 2 types of mushrooms in there, and if we add a few more varieties, it's a real happy jolly dish. Okay, so we are ready now.
Is all the rice in the pot?
Yes, all the rice. The question was, is all the rice in the pot? Yes, the rice is all in, and it's toasting nicely. Make sure you turn it around so it doesn't stick. And now we're ready to start adding stock. So we get a ladle, and we add a couple of ladlefuls to the rice, and we mix it well. Turn the heat down now to the minimum. You don't need to be on a high heat. So already the stock has been absorbed, so I'll add some more, about a couple more ladles. Because we need to get the other dish as well on the go. Okay, actually I'll add another one, so we can get going with the other dish. And this will take a little bit more to absorb. Okay. Okay. Bear in mind, always keep an eye on that. When you see that it's dry enough, then it's time to add a little bit more stock. Okay, let's get on to the third dish. Now for this dish, we'll have some olive oil. So we put a nice plug of olive oil in the pan. We put our garlic in there. And turn the fire on. Okay. You don't want it too high, kind of like low to mid. What we do, as always, we just with garlic, you have to be very careful not to burn it. So We just warm it up for a couple of minutes. We let the oil absorb the flavor from the garlic, and then we put the mushrooms in. If you like some extra flavor, I think one of the herbs that goes really well with mushrooms is tarragon. If you like it, you can add a pinch of tarragon to it. But not too much that it overwhelms the flavor. So we wait for this to be ready and to get this dish on the go before we start thinking about preparing the parsley for the end. Just remove all this garlic skin. Always keep the risotto going. As you can see, as he is absorbing all the stock, we'll add some more. 1 or 2 ladles at a time. The rice takes generally about 18 minutes to cook. You can hear now the oil starting to sizzle in this pan. And make sure the garlic is coated. And in a minute, we'll add the mushrooms to it. Now, from when we add the mushrooms to the pan, it would take between 15 to 20 minutes to cook, then to be ready. We will let them cook for a little while before we add salt. Okay. Okay. So now we're ready to add mushrooms to this other dish. Don't forget to keep stirring the rice. I'll add a little bit more stock. That's the trick. You add a little bit of stock to the rice, so that gives you a little time to deal with the other pan. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to get all the mushrooms in contact with the, with the oil and fat. We have to leave them in there for a little while. As you can see, in a minute they will start losing the water. So you can see that the pan is dry now. We'll check again in a couple of minutes and you'll see that there will be some liquid in there. Okay, you want to keep it on low heat.
And Christine, how is the flame on each pan?
We are pretty much on a low flame on each one of them. So I'm actually on the minimum setting. Like this is a big hob, so even the minimum setting is quite, is a little bit strong. But as long as you can see that the, for example, for the rice, as long as you can see boiling, you can see it in there now. You can see boiling away. If it's boiling, it's fine. Okay, so you don't need to, you don't need to have a high flame on, as long as the temperature is right. And we also got the water under the stove, sorry, the heat under the stove, because when we add it on, we want it to be boiling or thereabouts. No, we don't want to add cold liquid to the rice. Okay. So this, back and forth. It's good actually because we have got the salad already ready and ready to be served, and these two dishes would be ready pretty much at the same time. And one thing I didn't mention, okay, we'll be preparing the parsley in a moment, but one thing I didn't mention before, make sure that you have for this last dish, make sure that you have a lid. Okay, make sure that you have a lid that will seal it for later, for the last finishing touch. Okay. Okay, so now we get some parsley. Okay. We want quite a nice bunch. What we can do in the meantime, you see all the stems? So without being too worry about doing it too precisely, I'll cut all the stems off and I'll leave all the leaves for later. And what I'll do with the stems, I'll put them in with the mushrooms. Easy way to get a pair of kitchen scissors. Obviously, I have washed the parsley before, so hopefully you have done the same. Because obviously the stem will take. It's got lovely flavour, but obviously it's harder, so it will take longer to cook. Where the leaves you will really literally add in at the last minute. Doesn't matter if there are some leaves in there as well, it's fine. Again, I'm not, as you probably gathered by now, we're not too fussy. Okay, so go back to the risotto for a moment so you can see if we need to add any more stock. You might want to start giving a little taste as well every now and again to see if you're happy with the taste. This is absolutely amazing. Just to check because it's still on time. If you want to add a little bit more salt, or if it's gone the other way where you think, oh gosh, it's too salty, you're in time because instead of adding stock, you would just like boil another kettle. And you would add plain water rather than stock. Obviously, as long as it's hot and boiling. So this is an easy way to regulate the amount of salt in the dish. We are getting there. We are getting there. Not long to go. I'll turn the heat on the pan a little bit because it's a little bit low. You can see now. You can start seeing some liquid in the pan. I don't know if it shows on the pictures or not, but there is some liquid there. You can see the mushrooms are reducing. The water is coming out. Want to make sure that they're all in contact with the bottom of the pan. And at this time we can add, I haven't added salt before, have I? Let me taste one. I don't think I've added salt to this dish yet. No, I haven't. So this is again, you don't have to follow my lead completely, but I'll add about half a teaspoon. Maybe this is a bit too much. half a teaspoon of salt in there, and then I'll taste it again in a minute. Apart from the flavor, this will help the mushrooms shed the water. You would like to draw the water out of them. And what I'll do as well, again, to taste, if you like it or not, I will add a little bit of chili now to this. As again, it depends. I don't know what kind of chili you're using. This is quite powerful, so I won't use very much. That is enough for this. More than enough. Actually, it's going to be quite hot. Okay. Okay, going back to the risotto again, which is getting ready. We'll add more stock. As you can see, the stock is almost all almost used all the stock, so the rice must be almost ready. I'm not really timing it, but it takes generally about 18 minutes. But I will be tasting it in a minute, because you can tell when the rice is ready by how tender it is. You always, I don't know if you're not used to risotto, it must be a little bit tender, but it won't be as soft as other rices, of the long grain rices that you can use. There's always a little bit of bite into the risotto grain. Okay. Now it's time to give it a little bit of a taste to see. I think I need to add a little bit more salt to that. You want to make sure that there's a little bit of liquid in there now, if you can see. You can see now. So we want to really, by the end of the process, that there is almost no liquid in the pan. So we keep it going on a medium heat for a few more minutes. Okay. I think it's time now to start tasting the rice, so we can check if it's ready or not. I mean, it doesn't look ready yet. I think another couple of minutes and we're ready to serve it. So I'll add a little bit more stock. So if you, by the way, run out of stock, just boil some more hot water and use hot water with a little bit of salt. Oh, look at that! It looks really nice and rich. See how creamy it is. And what is nice, and what you should be seeing, it's nice to see the mushrooms in there, not disintegrated. Actually, you can see the shape of the mushrooms in there, which is nice when you dish them up. As you can see, there is the game here with the water. What you do is that if it gets too dry, you just turn the heat down. If it gets too wet, too much water, then you turn the heat up a little bit. It's time to have another taste to see if I'm happy with this salt level. Actually, I might get my cameraman to taste it off camera. What do you think? Just a pinch. Just a pinch more salt. Okay. Now we should be almost ready to the risotto. Just again, never stop stirring the risotto really. You can leave it for a minute, 2 at the max, but you have to keep stirring all the time. Okay. Absolutely amazing. Sorry if I say that myself, but it is unbelievable. I'll give my cameraman another taste. What do you think? Ready?
Wonderful, yeah.
Okay, the risotto now, I won't be using any more stock, so I'll turn that off. The risotto is ready, so I'll make sure that we absorbed all the liquids. If there's a little bit of creaminess, you don't have to lose it all. Okay, but I'll turn it off now. It's still obviously still very hot, so it's still cooking. What we'll be doing now, we're doing what is called mantecation. Okay, I'll be using a little bit. We put in a little bit of parsley at the end, almost like more for presentation than anything else. I'll be using the rest of the butter, the reserved. Okay, so the last 40 grams of butter. And I'll be stirring it in because we want this dish to be really creamy. Okay. Don't worry about the butter, just think about the good stuff that's going into the pan. Okay. So just if you think it's a lot of butter, just go out for an extra walk. Okay, so we added the butter. We are almost ready to serve. Now, depending on your taste, you can either eat that as it is, it's already delicious, or you can add a little bit of cheese. While you make
Helen X, thanks everybody, enjoyed it. So she's gone.
Okay, so what we do now, we will be just chopping a little bit of parsley over the top. Okay, so the rice can be ready to serve as it is. Before I finish it off though, let me do the last bit. We're putting the rest of the parsley on the other mushroom dish. Okay, which is by now almost ready.
When do we use the cognac? That's what Christine wants to
In
know.
a minute, Christine, don't be impatient. So we use Hello, are you? Hopefully you're still there. Unfortunately, my phone overheated, so we'll be back on in a second. Okay, so just hold on for a minute. We'll be back in a minute. Hi, are you still there? Hopefully you're still there. Can you see me? Wait a minute, why is it not? Oh, it is you. Is it Katerina? Just a second, Katerina. Let's see. You can see you. Okay. Okay, can you see me? Can you hear me as well?
Yes.
I don't know what's happening here.
Yes, still here.
Okay. Why can't I spotlight this video? Katerina master. Oh, I can't do this. Sorry, could somebody please get back to me? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Hey, Luca, I can see and hear you.
I don't know what's happening. Unfortunately, the phone overheated.
Yeah, we can see you and hear you.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, good. Okay, so these are the mushrooms now. Sorry, what's happened? Participants. I don't know. Unfortunately, I think you logged in with your account, so I don't mind. But, anyway, so as long as you can see me, we're almost finished. So what we can do here, if you like it, you can add some cheese to it. Okay, so when I do this, sorry, I'm doing this quickly just to recover some time. I think we've gone over time a little bit. Normally, you want to grate this cheese rather than doing what I'm doing. But okay, add this, and we'll mix it in so that it melts. Okay, and obviously add more cheese if you like it. This is completely down to taste. I think I haven't added too much because the risotto came out so nice. That really we don't really need to add anything else. Okay, so these are the mushrooms, the other dish. Okay, it's almost ready now. So what we'll be doing the brandy now. So I'll get that. What we want to do now, we just add basically a glass shot of brandy. This is the cookie brandy we use. And let me just do this. So we turn the heat off, and you pour your brandy in, and you let it rest for a couple of minutes. In the meantime, we will serve this. Just get... Voila. This is looking really good. So portion can be as small or as big as you like. Okay. So this is the dish. If you want for decoration, you can use a few leaves of parsley. Okay. And there's a little ingredient that I haven't actually put in the list of ingredients because I didn't want to go and get it out on purpose. But if you have some truffle infused olive oil, you can put a few drops on there. So I'll just show you. I think we got some. This is one that we bought at our local supermarket, and it's really nice. Really got a nice truffle aroma. So just to finish it off, I just put literally a few drops. That's it. And this is now ready to be eaten. Let me see. Now we take the mushroom completely off the heat. This is amazing, if I can say so myself. You see, the alcohol will have evaporated with the heat, but you get the wonderful aroma of the brandy or the cognac if you're using that. So that is ready to be dished out as well. So let's plate this up. And again, this is a dish that you can do with different varieties of mushroom. It is delicious just as it is. But if you're in the season where you can get fresh porcini mushrooms, then it'll be even nicer. That's the kind of dish. And if you want to show them all three in one go, let's also serve the salad. So this is the salad that was prepared earlier. Let's get spoon. Oh, excuse me the mess. I'm not the best at, as I said, the presentation. But this is the bit with the, as you can see, with the spinach. And on the other side of the plate, I'll put some of the rocket. I'll make sure they add a little bit of cheese on both sides. And voila, this is ready. So we have mushroom carpaccio with spinach, rocket, fresh mushrooms marinated a little bit in lemon juice, and some vegan Parmesan cheese. And we have a mushroom risotto, which I tell you, my stomach is actually growling because it's smelling so good. And then we have a champignon mushrooms in garlic, parsley, and brandy. Okay, so let me do the usual bit. We get Katerina to come on the other side and have a little taste, although she doesn't want to. Come on. Okay.
Right.
Taste of that. I want to taste the brandy mushroom. What do you think?
Delicious, really, really nice. And that one. Can really taste the brandy, and is it the
Brandy, yeah,
brandy
just a
that
little
we
bit of
use
brandy.
this time, isn't it? Really taste it. It's really delicious. You can taste the
Mushroom.
mushrooms are really nice, very creamy. It's really.
Okay, before we go today, for those of you that are still kept on with me right to the end, I wanted to ask you about next week. I thought about two different things, and maybe if I can get a vote from you, well, I can either make a homemade pizza with 3 different toppings. There will be 2 savory toppings and one sweet, kind of like a dessert. Or I can do a couple of different dishes with.
Christine said the risotto tastes very good.
Excellent, Christine. Thank you very much, Christine.
Carol, thank you. Enjoyed this, and I'll be making it.
Fantastic, Carol and Christine. Thank you very much for the feedback. So I was saying, either the pizza in both savory and sweet as a dessert. The sweetness will include chocolate as well, or chocolate spread. Or the other option would be to have a couple of different dishes with aubergines or eggplants, as they're known. And again, there are 2 lovely. It's another lovely Italian vegetable that we use quite a lot. It's absolutely delicious. So if you can put your vote.
Catherine pizza. Catherine Neves want pizza.
Catherine Neves want pizza. Okay.
Hilary, thank you. I will be having a go. I vote aubergine. That's Christine. So 2-1.
Okay. So
aubergines from Maria. That's
so
2 and 2.
At the moment we got 2 and 2. So we'll see at the end what he gets to.
Yeah.
Aubergines, please.
By tomorrow, when I place when I put the new event on, what the result of the vote is, and if the vote is square, then I'll have to make an executive
pizza,
decision.
but like aubergines too. That from Carol. My husband says pizza too. So
okay, so we got 4 votes of pizza. So maybe here we get into like a kind of like a thing with like pizza with aubergines, maybe something. Okay.
Pizza for me.
Okay, all right. I'll think about it then, and I'll let you know.
Please.
But it will be. I mean, okay. Whatever happens, I will be doing a class on either. So one will be next week, and whatever doesn't come up as the winner will be one of the following weeks. So I hope you've enjoyed this class. Please, again, as before, if you've enjoyed it, please take a picture of what you cooked, if you cooked today, and put it on the comments. You can put a picture as a comment on the class. It will make me really happy. The thing that really I enjoy the most is when I get feedback from people that actually cooked what I've cooked here live for you, and they've enjoyed it. So whatever happened, whether it came out right or wrong, give me some feedback on the Facebook page. If you could please put a review as well on the page and on the classes, then I'll be eternally grateful, because it creates goodwill.
George says, "Can we do vegan ice cream soon, please?"
Oh, vegan ice creams! That was something I had in the pocket, because I was thinking one of the next few events will be dedicated to desserts. Okay, so vegan ice cream will be included in that. And I tell you what, even better, something that in the summer I really enjoy is also lemon sorbet, and there is a really nice way of making it with Sicilian lemons. So okay.
Sue and Catherine say great, thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Sue and Catherine, and I say
Tiramisu as well. Great session, thanks. And
Tiramisu.
Tiramisu.
yeah, tiramisu is already in the list. It's already in the list. It was one of the secrets that I haven't revealed yet. Okay, that's great. Yeah, so please give me some feedback on the Facebook page. Hope you really enjoyed it. I certainly have, and now as I'm very hungry, I will be eating as well. Okay, so see you next week.
Bye-bye. See
Bye.
you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, it's really delicious. I mean, the risotto.